did something to my phone. I couldn't even
I
starts turning.
I got locked out of my computer.
I had no choice but to buy another one. There's no way
Whenever
to
you're
fix
ready,
it.
Mayor.
All right, we're going to call this workshop to order. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Carly, if you can call the roll, please.
Nidinger,
Here.
McAleese,
Here.
Thompson. Here. Reed.
Here.
Penny.
Here. All right, our first item is a hurricane damage insurance settlement. We like words like that. So who's got us here? Heather coming up. Good morning.
You need that wacky chair there, you might want to move.
So we have attached some documentation. Did y'all get that sent to you? Well, it's okay, I can just go over it. So it seems to me that there's been a lot of back and forth between the city and the insurance people. They've scheduled a meeting with us this Thursday. I think that they want to finalize the claims, and I would like to finalize the claims, but they're not going to give us that much money. So we have one claim for $51,000. Oh, it wasn't. I'm sorry. I'll give you copies of these if you want. It's not a whole lot of information. It's just a letter. So there's one claim for $51,000. That's the highest one that I've seen. There's one for $2,100 and one for $2,600. So it's not big money. I do believe that in my talks with everyone that we've jumped through the hoops. We've given them the documentation they've asked for, and it doesn't seem like they're going to budge any higher than this.
Who's
So,
the insurance provider?
McLaren's,
Okay, this is not FEMA money. This is our own.
No.
Insurance?
yes,
This is great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask, what are these claims for?
So the one is for City Hall.
Oh, okay.
Carpet cleaning and minor repairs, that's the $2,100. The fire station, the old fire station, floor cleaning, roof downdraft, vent replacement, that's the $2,600. And then the largest one is having to do with the fire station, electric panel, commercial sign, fences, screening, railings.
Okay.
They do have one claim on here that has to do with the Public Works building, and it's not being awarded. It doesn't look like that's on any of the claims that they're trying to settle at this time. So that it says it's pending a final invoice. So I'm going to follow up with them when I talk to them on Thursday. But I didn't want to go ahead and tell them that we're ready to settle without bringing it to your guys' attention first.
What are we missing? I mean, do they have everything that we're trying to claim, I guess?
I believe so. I mean, the only place I saw anything that was pending was on this like tiny spreadsheet they sent,
Yeah.
and it just says pending final invoice. So I'll find out if there's something.
I'm assuming there is a file of everything that was sent to them that we're claiming for, and does that match what we were claiming, or?
I mean, it's hard to
really?
backtrack. I'm trying to delve into it. It looks like the one that's remaining has to do with like the elevator. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So is most of it because it was flood damage that they're not,
So we did
covered?
get money from our flood insurance pretty quickly after the storm.
Okay,
This is, I guess, what was outside of that.
okay. Do you know how much we got from the flood?
Not off the top of my head. I can find
I
out.
know we talked about it, I think. Can't remember what it was.
Yeah, my understanding is that the flood people came out pretty quickly, made their assessment and paid.
Yeah.
And then we were done with that. But I would like to move forward in closing all of these because then I can report it to FEMA. Because as we'll get to that in a second in my report.
Yeah.
But I need to be able to tell FEMA how much money we got from insurance for all these different things. So if you tell me to go back and fight, I'll go back and fight and see if we can get any more money. But I don't know if that's really going to happen or not.
Yeah, yeah. How long will that drag out? No. which means we probably have to get legal involved.
Mm.
Then we got,
There goes the $2,100.
yeah,
Is it just, was it just due to like lack of follow-up or what? I mean, I know it takes forever to get them to pay, but.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the delay has been.
What's our deductible?
We have a big deductible on this building, like Jim had mentioned to me, 300,000,
Okay.
so.
And then, so you said 2,100 City Hall, 2,600 Fire Station, I didn't catch the last.
Yep, and then 51,000
Yeah.
fire
also for the fire
Fire
station,
station.
it looked like,
Yeah.
so.
or other.
Mm-hmm.
Electrical stuff. Yeah.
And all the buildings are independently insured?
Yeah.
Okay. And they all have a $300,000 deductible?
I'm not sure, I know that he said that this building is for 300,000,
Okay.
yeah, quite a bit. Quite a bit.
So we're getting that after the deductible, in other words.
I don't think that we have to pay the deductible. We've paid what we're gonna pay for all the repairs. I don't believe that we've paid anything directly towards the deductible at this time.
So which means they might just deduct that money from the 300,000.
I'm hoping not. No, so none of these have to do with this building. So
Oh,
the big
okay.
deductible is, the 300,000 is for this.
Oh, I thought one was for carpet cleaning.
Yeah.
Downstairs, yeah, you're right. It
Oh,
is
okay.
the 2,100.
Yeah, yeah.
I got these letters, I wanted to bring them to your attention, I'm not definitely as educated as I need to be, we don't have a call with them until this Thursday, so I'll find out more information, but I kinda need to,
Insurance company.
I guess, proceed.
Well, how do you guys feel? Any comments on it, Gail? Besides being mad?
Well, you know, I'm sure that, I know she's been going through tons and tons of stuff trying to figure all this out. Mhm.
We gotta think that we ought to just, move forward, or you wanna fight?
I'd like to hear what they say in a call on Thursday
Yeah.
before we,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that you gotta hear what they're
see
Yeah.
what you can.
Hold it off to our next workshop?
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
shake something loose out and get some more clarification as to why it's such a low amount. I mean, how does this compare to the actual expenses related to the repair?
We've spent quite a bit of money for all these projects. So it looks to me like we submitted $135,000 worth of expenses, and they're coming back with, less than 60,000 that they'd like to pay us back
Yeah, I think an explanation of why they're not covering
Yeah,
the
that's a
additional.
good question.
for. Okay.
All right, yeah, let's try to put it off until the next workshop then,
Okay.
so, all right.
So I will not tell them on Thursday, then we're not ready to finalize these until I report back to you guys at the
Yeah,
next
yeah,
workshop.
yeah.
Okay, we can do that.
All right,
Do you want me to leave?
well, why don't you just, why don't you just hang out? We'll just go straight into reports, unless somebody had anything else to say on the subject before we move on to the next item, no? Okay, all right, well, let's go over your reports.
Finance report. So I changed the format from what you guys have previously been receiving.
I like it.
Oh, good. Okay, thank you. If there's more information that you want, I have it. If this is too much information, you can tell me. If there's something different that you want me to do, I'll be happy to do that. I gave you the format that I thought was gonna be the most useful. So.
Very concise.
Yes. So the front page of my report is like a narrative talking about the work that we've completed this period. A lot of it is standard just based on the time of the year. The biggest difference, which you guys are all welcome to come and see my office, we moved, we packed up tons of paperwork. We've sent it to storage, we've shredded what we need to, we're reorganizing. So we're excited about that. We've submitted our insurance application for next year, which I was shocked at how early they wanted it, because I was like, what do you mean? We just got a new policy. And he says, since we're in public risk management, it's a big pool of participants. So if they can get our list of vehicles and how many employees and our payroll, they want it as early as they can so that they can put us into the pool and try to calculate the premiums for the next year. So we've done that.
Makes sense.
Gerald had this big report that we have to do for the audit having to do with other post-employment benefits. Foster and Foster's already turned around their report back to us, so that we'll submit that to the auditors. quarterly reports, 1099s, W-2s. I think I've mentioned to you guys, you all got a letter with your W-2s that says if you've got overtime. So that was a new regulation that came out this year. So it was optional for employers for 25 to report. But since you guys have so many employees that did have overtime, I didn't want them to miss out on that deduction on their personal taxes, so we went ahead and did that calculation. The IRS it was kind of like a waiver for employers to comply with that reporting for 25. It is going to be mandatory for 26, so we're getting ready for that. Quarterly fuel tax refund, I prepared that. We've had a couple calls with Wells Fargo Bank. There was a couple of things that I was kind of hoping we could change with them if we're going to stay with them. One of the things is that we've never had a remote deposit scanner here. So we get our checks, we make a deposit slip with cash, we have to take it to the bank all the time. It used to be more convenient when they were down the street, and now they're not down the street. So we've gotten a deposit scanner so that we'll be able to deposit them here instead of having to take those checks to the bank all the time. And then the other big thing that, the finance commissioner and I have talked about, and just me being in this world, we don't have the capability to pay electronic payments through our bank. If I go to an external website and initiate a payment, I can do that, but I can't go to our banking website and initiate an electronic payment. That's not something that the former finance director had ever pursued. He wasn't interested in doing that, but I am. So we had a call with them. I'm a little bit taken aback by the amount of fees that they're charging us, and I let them know that in the nicest possible way. We're charged quite a bit for, per item fees and the capability to do this. I'm not ready to make a change yet, but I did ask them, if there's a different account type that we could pursue with Wells Fargo, for governmental entities, and they kind of said no. That's just their fee structure. They're a big bank, and we're small potatoes. With that, Wells Fargo Advisors, which we used to hold money in an investment account with them, they've dumped us during this period. I guess our holdings were too small for them, so they liquidated those investment accounts. Before Jim left, he actually moved the money that we got from that. He moved that into the SBA investment account, which is fine. I mean, it's paying a decent interest rate. But just keep in mind, I might come to you at a future workshop and say, let's pursue looking at another bank.
That was my next thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going to Regions
Yeah.
then?
Yeah, we have a Regions here in town. There's a Bank of America. Those are also big banks. So I would, once I can catch my breath, I'd like to maybe pursue that. I feel like I have given Wells Fargo the opportunity. Like I said, I've asked if there's another account type that we could use. There is one thing that she said that we could do. So what happens every night is all of our money except for $750,000, it gets swept out of our account, invested, and then it sweeps back in the morning. And so that's how we're making interest on our money that's sitting idle in Wells Fargo. She said they call that a PEG balance, the $750 that we keep in there. And she said that if we stop doing that, if we let them sweep out all of our money, that's more money that we could be getting interest on.
What's the dangers of doing that?
I'm nervous about that.
Take the whole thing and
Yeah, I'm pretty nervous about that.
Can you lower that low, like to 500,000 or whatever?
Yeah, I
maybe
think
get-
that we can choose our own amount.
Yeah,
you
but
know,
it
for
wouldn't
that-
help us in their fees or anything else. to do
No,
that.
so that's what they kind of, the way that they sold it to me is that, well, we have this opportunity for you to sweep out more money, you can make more interest, and that offsets the fees. They're not gonna do anything about the fees, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
Wouldn't we be, you and I talked about this, wouldn't we be better with a smaller bank that, is anxious to get the business and,
Potentially, so,
because don't go Bank of America, they're horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, they really are, they're so big that you get no personal treatment with them at all.
well, I feel like the people that we've spoken to at Wells Fargo are very nice. It's just, their hands seem to be tied, there's not really much they can do for us. I was just thinking, like, Regions and Bank of America, those are in town.
You got Regions, you got the other bank that's over there.
Bank OZK.
Park Well, the one on Park in Pasadena.
Yeah.
I can't think of the name of it
Yeah.
right now, but,
First Horizon.
yeah, yeah,
Well, not all banks are created equal.
true.
So we
They
have
might not all
to-
be able to handle it. yeah.
Right, and, you know, they're limited on how much governmental money they're allowed to hold. They have to be a qualified public depository. So there's definitely some vetting that we need to do before we just pick one. So I wanted to bring it up. We are making progress with Wells Fargo. They're supposed to be adding the ACH capability, and one thing that I do like about that is that one of the it has to be a two-part approval. So I couldn't go in and just send money. So staff would probably put it in as the initiator, and then I would be the approver. Or I put it in and Gail's the approver. You know, there's two parts. Two parties have to approve those payments. So I like that. And like I said, they have worked with us getting the remote deposit scanner, so I like that. You know, they've been responsive as far as that goes, but I'm like, what about these fees? You know, it's hard. I come from my previous cities that we banked with a smaller bank and there were no fees. No fees. You know, they sent us.
Was it a smaller amount that? No. Oh,
I mean, I think that they're a national bank, but they were a smaller entity, and the customer service was excellent. So we'll see down the road. We'll deal with what we have for now, but maybe one day.
Yeah, we got a new bank coming in about a year.
Yeah.
Then however long it takes them to build
Chase
after
Bank
that.
and Lounge.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
So another thing that I've been thinking about and working on, I had gotten Jim, I believe, had gotten an email from the Community Disaster Loan representative. And he said, are you interested, you know, I've been trying to follow up, are you interested in this? And it's not every day that I get an email that says, hey, do you want some money? So I wrote him back immediately. We scheduled a call the next day. Unfortunately, I don't think that it's a good fit for us. So for this community disaster loan, it's really meant to bridge the gap for operating expenses after hurricane or a natural disaster. You're not allowed to use it for debt payments. You're not allowed to use it for capital projects. It's really for operating expenses. These programs kind of have a reputation of being forgiven. So you get the money as a loan, and then after the time passes, it gets forgiven. And that can happen. But the only way that that can happen is if the entity suffers a loss. You have to have a net operating loss for 3 years after the disaster. We are not in that position. And they also will not allow you to consider debt payments and capital projects during that period because they're not giving you money for that, so they're not going to let you count that towards that loss. So I talked to him for quite a while, a very knowledgeable guy up in DC. He was a little jealous of our weather. But I said, okay, well, what about, like, we have this property tax reform going on here in Florida. What if we end up operating at a loss because of that? And he said, no. He said that would be a loss that was, it came from another act of legislation. It's not from the natural disaster. So I kept trying to ask, is it possible for this? Is it possible for that? And it just doesn't seem like that's a good fit. Yeah. Because we're not actually our operating expenses are not what is hurting us right now. It's the upcoming capital projects and then the debt associated with that. So I tried. I'm going to have to just follow up with him and let him know officially that we're not going to pursue that. But I'll definitely keep an eye out and ear out for other grant opportunities or funding. And then just a short list of the large purchases that happened during this period. The fire truck had to have a big repair on the bucket platform. As you probably all know, we've been working on a lot of computer upgrades. There was some exercise and playground equipment at Fred Held Park, and then some sewer pump station repairs. So I went through the activity for the period, and I kind of just picked out what was out of the ordinary and just made a quick list here. The next section is a FEMA update. I've spent a lot of time talking to FEMA and looking at that documentation as well. Unfortunately, I believe we have another new contract manager since I spoke to the lady last week. I haven't had a chance to tell Carly that yet.
Okay.
You know, FEMA has had a rough go, you know, in all fairness. I think that they've lost a lot of personnel because that's one of the agencies that when these shutdowns happen, they're laid off and the funding ceases. And so it's hard to keep people in an environment like that. It could be that the people that we've spoken to have been reassigned to another disaster or another case. But the woman I spoke to last week was very organized. We had a great plan. We had another call scheduled this week. And then I believe it was Thursday or Friday, I got an email that said, "Hi, I'm so-and-so, I'm your new manager." I was like,
Oh my God.
The good news is, when I spoke to her last week, I was pleasantly surprised because I've been a little out of the loop on that. That was kind of one of the projects of another employee, and I was getting, you know, updates, but I wasn't in it doing it, speaking to the people following up. So now I am. I will say that I was able to, I personally spoke to the woman for Hurricane Ian, which was in 2022. We have 2 projects obligated, which is once it gets all the way through the process and they say, okay, they sign off on it, now it's considered obligated. So we will be getting about $60,000 from Hurricane Ian. For Hurricane Helene, 4 projects have been obligated, about $338,000. 2 projects that we still need to work through. I believe that they have missing documentation and just questions that we need to have answered. So I'm going to follow up on that. Now that I have access to the grants portal just within the last couple of weeks, so I can get in myself and see what needs to be done. So I'm definitely going to push through that. For Hurricane Milton, we have 2 projects obligated for about $83,000. And then our big money, 2 projects, including our debris, for $795,000 are still open. The problem with that seems to be the dates. So these FEMA claims are very, very date sensitive. And the fact that we had Helene and then Milton right after, there's the question, and I believe that this has been the struggle the whole time, which disaster do you report under? So what we're pursuing is 100% cost reimbursement, and so you have to pick up the debris during these specific windows for these disasters. So when I spoke to the woman last week, she said, well, your first pickup tickets are past Helene's 100% and before Milton's. So she was supposed to follow up with leadership to see exactly where to put them. Because it's not a question of whether or not we've incurred the expense, because we did and we have all the documentation. They just need to be able to sort through it and put it where it needs to go. So I'm going to definitely follow up and hope that we don't get another change on personnel. But I will definitely let you know once that money starts coming in, because it's obligated, which means they've approved it, but that could mean it's going to sit on somebody's desk that has been laid off, and they'll get to it when they get to it. So I'm going to try to pursue as much as I can to find out when can we expect this money.
Have you spoken to this new lady yet?
No.
No. Okay.
Oh, God. Has any of this been in the budget? I mean, was any of this included anywhere? Or is this going to be like found money in the new budget? Bless you.
It's going to be found money, essentially. I don't think that he had any way to kind of estimate what we were going to be getting, but it is a cost reimbursement. So this is costs that we've incurred, and then we're getting money back from it. So to try to make us whole from these disasters.
Out of curiosity, I wonder what would happen if you did try to contact the first lady and see if, she answered her phone.
Yeah, I will. Like, she hasn't canceled. I had sent her an invite for a meeting tomorrow, and she hasn't canceled that yet. So I'm gonna, maybe I can switch that to the new person. I was kind
It's
of.
got to be a mess there.
Yeah, I was pretty disappointed that when I got that email, I was like, oh, no. And there's quite a few people. I mean, I can't tell you how many people I've gotten emails from in different communications that we're only dealing with these 2 hurricanes, and they reference both of the FEMA disaster numbers. I'm like, are you the person I need? Are you the person I need? Who do I speak to for this? So I'm trying to sort through exactly the easiest and best path to get through this. But it's pretty convoluted. The last section of my narrative report has to do with property tax legislation. I don't know how closely you guys are following this, but as of right now, very close. I know the Vice Mayor is. There are 3 proposals that they've passed all their committees and they're moving to the full House. So the one, actually there are 2 that, if you remember from my big presentation, where they're phasing them in. So number 203 is the one that increases the exemption over 10 years. 209, it actually changed the amount. They're gonna increase the exemption by $200,000 for homesteads that have insurance. And then 213 is like the cap, the per year cap is gonna be spread out over time so that it takes a longer period instead of each year that cap. I'm going to go into budget season with a budget that does not consider this money being cut unless you tell me otherwise. My understanding is that, like, if we vote on this in November, it will be effective for next year budget season. So I think that I'm going to go into the budget preparation process as if we're gonna be able to set our own millage rate. It's gonna be on all properties. And then we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
I think they're gonna kind of vote on one of these and not try to combine 2 of these, and, I mean,
Well, they're all
the
still-
legislation does
they're
crazy stuff.
They're
so.
standalone bills right now, that all 3 are cleared to go to the House floor, but the Senate is still not taking a position on any of this stuff.
Which one's the last?
They're all pretty,
213.
yeah.
213 is not bad, it costs us $138,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first two that like increases the exemption by a lot over years, it's gonna hit our community so hard because it's not like we have $10 million properties on every block.
Right.
So if you have a big increase in the exemption, that's gonna affect a lot of properties in that very first year. And then potentially the second year, yeah, we're gonna be done, exactly, yep. So we'll keep an eye out on these. So that is my narrative report, and then if you turn the page, I have some colorful pages here. I tried to match the color of your logo. So this is a new format. It's a very high-level report. If you want more detailed information, like I said, we have it. I didn't feel like it was good to have you guys look at a check register for the quarter to show you every.
Please don't.
Okay.
I don't wanna do it at home.
Payment.
I don't wanna do it here.
Okay. I have all of the account activities that make up this report, if you'd like to, delve into your specific departments or anything like that. So what I have here is a very summarized budget to actual for the quarter. The first table has the major revenue sources, and then the bottom table has expenditures by function. So with.
Easy to read, it's very good.
Oh, good. Okay, I'm glad. The thing that I kind of want to point you to, and if I'll continue this format going forward as long as everybody's okay with that. So with 3 months, that means we're 25% through the year for this time period. So when you look at the year-to-date received, if you have a big fluctuation from that 25%, those are the ones that we could delve in and talk about. So the first one, the largest budgeted revenue is ad valorem. It makes sense that we have a high proportion of that. We expect that. If you can picture your tax bills, everybody gets a discount if you pay in November, so we expect most people are going to do that. So if that number wasn't much higher this early, I would be concerned about that. So that's a normal fluctuation. Everything else is pretty well in line. Business tax registrations are well over budget. I know that that was in part of Terry's report. You'll hear from her later, so that's great. And then if you move to the expenditure section, everything is pretty well in line with where you'd expect it to be. And then my final page is a chart and a graph having to do with your cash and investments. Your money is pretty well diversified. Jim did a good job of spreading it out. We have, just so you guys know, I'm just gonna act like this is all new to you because I don't know how much or how little information you've been getting. We have one account with Wells Fargo, like, as we were talking about before, it's pooled cash. So you have 4 funds, but we have one bank account. That big bank account gets divvied up between the funds. That's what pooled cash is. A lot of our money is in Wells Fargo. We have about 16% of the overall cash and investments in our Wells Fargo account. It is interest bearing. It offsets those fees as we talked about. You'll see the SBA, which is the Florida Prime, that has about 35% of your money in it. It's also interest bearing. Those two are the easiest for me to go in and transfer money back and forth. And I think that was Jim's preference as well, because we have online access. I check the bank account every day, but the SBA, Florida Prime, we can wire money out of there if we need to. And that's where when those Wells Fargo advisors mature, that's where Jim moved the money to. And then we also have an investment with Florida Safe, about 22% of the total. I haven't ever worked with them before. I know that they have a pretty good reputation in the municipal area. And also, we have CDs with Truist. We have Florida Municipal Investment Trust, bond funds. And my next report, as you'll see, the Wells Fargo securities, there was $1.7 million in total. Now that's gone away. So my next report, you'll see a big increase in the SBA money.
We've never seen this report in
I was
12 years.
I was concerned, confused, why we were spread out in so many different directions when I looked at that. From a personal standpoint, 2, maybe 3, if I got some fantastic interest rate, but I'm looking at that report going, this seems to be all over the place. Is this typical for a government agency to have it spread out like that?
Not really, no.
Okay. Is it good?
I think that it has good things and it has bad things.
Okay.
So I think that this stems from Jim's history with the city for such a long time. There was a point in time when the SBA froze their funds and you were not allowed to take your money out of there. And I believe that at the time the city was heavily invested in the SBA. I believe that the level of diversification stems from that. So there's no, as far as I know, knock on wood, there's no risk for that to happen at this point in time because they did create this other fund. It's called the Florida Prime. So it's the state's money, and then it's this fund called Florida Prime. As far as all the CDs and the different bond funds, I don't know that I'll continue that.
Okay.
We had 3 CDs mature. They're like 6-month terms. So for me to have to search if that's a good rate every 6 months and roll them, into a new one, I don't know that I'll continue to do that. But, it is good. There is something to be said for not having all of your money in one place too.
So where does the Wells Fargo money, oh, you said it went into the SBC account? Okay.
Yeah, it came. They put it into our Wells Fargo regular operating account, and then Jim wired that money into the SBA account.
So if we shut down our Wells Fargo account, or are you still using that temporarily?
Wells Fargo Advisor, so it was an investment account. It's
Oh,
separate
okay.
and distinct from our bank account.
All right, thank you.
Yep. Yeah, so they dumped us. we got dumped. We got a letter just all of a sudden.
It's happened to me. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very unexpected.
Had a bank tell me, you just need to go somewhere else. All right.
So on maturity or whatever, you're just gonna move these things along into a different,
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Truist CDs. The next one, I believe they're set to mature again in like June or July. I'm probably not going to renew those. The interest rate wasn't that great for that term. And it's one less statement and one less, interest that we need to post from a different source.
And a lot of small accounts.
Yeah.
Do you know what the average interest rate is for that whole?
I don't.
Okay.
It fluctuates so much from one thing to the next. I can add that to a future report if you'd like.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was just a general curiosity.
They are all
If we were
making
getting
money.
2% or 4%, but yeah.
Somewhere between there. So
Yeah.
the interest on the CDs are 2 and change, maybe 2.5.
Wow.
And then the SBA has been right around 4%. So I'm not, I'm not disappointed in that in today's market. That's pretty good. And again, we have to be very careful. We have an investment policy here with the city, and there's only certain things that we can put our money into.
Okay, that's good.
So, so I'm very comfortable with the SBA, and then again, Florida Safe. Those are our 2 big ones. I'm happy with that. But, one account at Fifth Third and a mutual fund.
Yep. Thank you, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I thought it was very easy to read. Yeah.
Thank you. I've never seen that much information. Nice sense of it.
Well, any questions or?
No?
All right.
Very
thank
good,
you all.
thank you. All right, let's go to CID, since her name was mentioned in this last report. You were referenced. Good morning.
That was very thorough.
It was very thorough.
So I had some fun stuff in mind, but did you guys have any questions or comments or concerns?
Now, most interesting thing to me was the Lutheran building is gonna be sold.
Yeah.
So, yes, so they are in the process. The board had decided, it took them quite a while to make that decision, but they made the decision, and so they've started cleaning it out and getting all the furniture and all the stuff that was in it and all some of the
People's personal
damage.
belongings,
Well, the
right?
personal-
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. So they had been allowing people to come in and 18 stories without, 18 stories without an elevator. So people were coming in, meeting with a crew. They would go up, tell them what they wanted out of their unit and bringing it down for them, because most of those people could not do the stairs to that degree and move furniture. So they were bringing down whatever they could. They had moving companies come in with them, different things. But so they had been doing that for the last year. But the board was trying to decide what to do with the property, and they finally.
Because they had like T-Mobile was there, and you would see different
Yes, so they
companies
had,
there.
they'd put in a generator for the T-Mobile because it's on the roof, and they were losing signal because that was, the signal for the area. So they've done some different things. It hasn't been complete, but they lost everything. I mean, they lost the boiler, they lost the fire alarm system, they lost the generator, they lost the electric system. So they lost so much because everything was below flood. So they made that decision recently and decided that's what they're going to do.
Probably makes
So
sense for them.
I can't imagine how that is inside with the refrigerator. It had food in it. And
They
put it
did.
down that chute,
so they've got some issues with some critters.
I can imagine.
But actually, I was in there about a month ago, and it had no mold that was visible. And I wonder if that's because the windows are so horrible that it
Yeah.
had airflow.
Yeah.
So you think somebody will just buy the property and maybe tear it down?
I don't believe they're going to tear it down.
You
I
don't
believe
think-
it's going to be a renovation.
They won't be able to build
They
anything
can't
as
build
high
it
if they tear it
that's
Turn into
down.
something
that
else.
tall again.
So
Oh,
they'll want
right.
to try to
So-
fix what's there.
Code.
So they're going to lose a ton of density if they tear it down. So the structure itself is not horrible. The equipment and the structure's in good shape. The equipment was not. So all the stuff to run it. So it's feasible that they could do, and they are beyond their requirement for affordable housing. So it was a 20-year requirement, and they're well beyond that. So.
Well, let's talk about our other favorite, Take 5.
Yeah.
So, a question has come to my attention that, so my understanding is that they're going to let them operate without closing the medium and see how it goes.
Rumor has it.
Yes, rumor
Well, I
has
have a
it.
permit that says we're
So
closing.
in other words, they're gonna wait until somebody gets in an accident before they do what they have to do. Now, the other part of that is, if they do put in the change at that turn area, the increase in U-turns at the red light by Publix is gonna go up, and is that gonna be a situation as well? So I don't know if that's ever been thought of or discussed, but if that was gonna have to push the U-turn, they'd have to put a no U-turn there and push it down past Publix maybe and turn it to other intersection, which I don't know if that's gonna help any at all either, but.
Those are all FDOT decisions.
Yes.
They are not city decisions. So my understanding, so we issued a permit. FDOT made a decision that they were gonna have to close that median. At that time, once they got through what they were gonna have to do, they submitted a permit application to us. We approved the permit once, based on them closing that portion of the median. And then we had no communication for a long time. So we reached out to find out what was going on, and the Take 5 said that they still have it in the plan to close the median. But then we've heard from someone at FDOT that they're gonna let them do this without closing the median. I have a permit for a median closure. So until that is closed, I can't issue a CO, or I get direction from someone else to cancel it. So,
Right, so FDOT hadn't.
but I've got nothing further.
Yeah. So is there anything further that Take 5 has to do with FDOT? I mean, is there other permits they have to have closed as well, or anything else
It's all
they've
the
got
same
with them?
permit.
It's all the
So
same permit.
It just depends, apparently they're working through agreements, and
Okay, so it's just a paperwork jam right now.
that's what I've been told. Now, I'm not in the same loop.
Yeah.
So
Right.
they tell me what I need to know.
I need to know
You're
basis.
talking about that left turn, they're never gonna make it all the way over there unless there's absolutely no traffic.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's such a short
At
distance
this time of year, you
between
can't make
that.
it over there even.
Yeah, they're
no
gonna
such
have
thing
to
as no
keep
traffic.
going,
Yeah.
go straight.
Yeah.
What a nightmare.
Well, let's see how that goes.
We have a hard time getting out of Pasadena Cove. I can't imagine
Yeah,
trying
right,
to go.
exactly. You're right.
Yeah, is there any updates on any of our other our vacant buildings? Any nudges?
What about our
Anything you can talk
favorite
about?
executive
Let's put it that way.
building?
Yeah.
Isn't that our
It
favorite?
is, the executive building is being worked on.
They're
They
all-
have
they're all
They've
there working
started-
all the time.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do. They've started putting the staircase out back, which is a requirement. Unfortunately, it's being done by a private provider, so I don't get to go in.
It's totally empty though, nobody's
Yes,
working in
yes,
there.
it was vacated.
But nobody's walking in saying the old Dunkin' Donut building, the old Wendy's, Kelly's, or anything about,
We have had
Interested.
So Dunkin' Donuts just got their permit for the work they did without. And so they had a contractor come in and do all the work prior to getting a permit, but we've gotten that cleaned up. I do understand that they were in negotiations with someone, but I don't
okay.
know where that's going. Wendy's had a sign up and then the sign went away, but I've gotten no information on that either. Haven't heard anything on Kelly's. The True Leave is going into the urgent care. We're waiting on an appraisal because they were using an appraisal number to be able to get to that 50%. We're waiting on that to be sent in. They said they had it, and then we haven't gotten it. So until we get that, we can't issue the permit, but it's ready to be issued.
The Wendy's building and the Kelly building are pretty much ready to go, except for any type of major remodel they want to do.
Right.
Just
whatever they want to do to make it better.
Yeah.
What's up with that little 3-unit, I think it's 3-unit, maybe 5-unit strip center just south of Regions that we approved a couple months back?
I saw equipment out there the other day.
Okay, so they've got permits and everything?
Yes.
Which one?
The
Saw
4-unit
little flags
retail.
out there today
Yeah.
that marked the.
Yeah, so I think
all the gas lines.
they're getting started. They do have their permit.
Any idea what tenants are going in there, or
Nope, it's just a shell,
just a spec unit?
just a shell right now. We have, Aldi had applied for a permit for the Winn-Dixie. It had some issues they needed to correct, and then they contacted us last week and said that it's been pushed out a year, and they want to know what we can do about that.
Well, there was an
But-
article about Winn-Dixie saying that they weren't gonna get rid of as many of the stores as they had originally planned. And I wondered if that had anything to do with, it might.
Holding off a little bit on doing that renovation. What else do we have going on? There's a remodel at the Springs for their kitchen. They're upgrading their kitchen. So we just
What
issued
about
that one.
Elon's, is that still?
Causeway
on?
Village is,
Are they
good.
doing something there?
So, no. We had that permit ready to issue in June, last June. We let them know that they were at their 180 days and that was part of a free permit that they would have gotten, the free building permit. So now they have to reapply. So they told us they weren't ready to do anything. Exactly.
So in that
Bank
building-
of America, their little portable thing back at Bank of America.
So
So in that
We have
building, all
gotten
the
nothing.
apartments are still,
they're all empty.
they're empty?
They're empty. Those
But
two
I mean,
buildings are
empty of furniture or just no people?
There, definitely people. I believe most of, I shouldn't say that. A lot of the people have gone in and gotten their stuff, but I'm sure there are some that haven't. So, yeah. So as far as Bank of America, they are still operating out of the temporary. We have not received a single application for that. So I do have to, in the near future, send out the letters
Worried about
of,
what
hey,
has expired or will expire.
yeah, I mean, I've been trying to be real lenient with that because of the situation and, they are
Right.
completely operating out of that, but it has been
Long enough.
long enough that I think at some point they're gonna have to do something.
They don't seem like
Um,
they're doing anything. They got the
They're not doing a
water.
thing.
Yeah,
Nothing.
Not a thing.
yeah.
Wells Fargo has applied for their permit. They're gonna do the flood dam walls around the building. So they had some things they had to tweak, to
What
get
about the
all
law
that in there.
offices behind there or anything?
I don't know if they're gonna open back up or not, or if they're just gonna, Wells Fargo is just gonna envelope that as well, but,
Right.
so we're working on those renovations
I know I saw
permit.
a police sign on that with the Rice law firm there for a while.
Okay. Yes, actually, they came in to get their permit. They applied for their permit last week for that building. So it's, we've got
And
lots of
Causeway
permits.
Village, how's it
Causeway
going?
Village.
I haven't been up in there, so
New occupant.
is it moving along?
so
I
we
saw you
issued
got three new
three-
homes.
3 COs. We've got 3 more to do that are new construction. We've got lots of renovations. Yeah, their appraisers came in magically. Their contracts came in at 48% of whatever their appraisal
Right.
was. Whether it was $20,000 or it was $100,000, it was 48%. So, but it's a licensed appraiser and licensed contractor, and
Yep.
now
This is
if
the meeting.
they want to lie to me,
Yeah.
they can, they do their thing. So, but lots of fixes going on. A few new ones, but not a ton, not as many as I would have thought.
Things are slowly coming back together.
Yeah, we're steady rolling.
Yeah.
So we did get 2 new businesses. So
Yeah. So how many, I know you guys are trying to compile a list, once again, of the businesses that closed, but how many businesses do we have in the city?
See, this is, we have businesses who are brick and mortar, and then we've got businesses who are kind of, an entity that works out of their house, and then we've got
Yeah.
contract, so it's,
I would think and I don't need it right now, but I mean sometime, maybe just let me know how many brick and mortar businesses, I guess, we have then, in our city total.
that's kind of what we're going through right now to
Because some of the
figure out.
questions I get from people is like, why are these empty buildings sitting there, and why are we losing all these businesses? And I'd like to be able to say, well, we have this many businesses, and we have this many that are, shut down, so, so as a comparison, because I'm pretty sure it's probably a smaller percentage. I think we've got quite a few businesses here, especially if you think about all the ones that are in the the strip malls and stuff around here and everything else,
I
okay.
want to say it's about a ballpark of about 400, but that's,
That's with all the,
yeah, I'm not sure that number excludes the things that
right,
are not brick and mortar, so.
yeah.
let me-
And that pledge to evacuate, that's great.
Yeah, so we
I mean,
are.
hopefully that'll be really helpful.
Kelly and Marcus have been amazing in helping me get through this. So we are hoping to launch that at the block party. So we're going to have people just kind of sign up and give us their email address so that we can include them in any of our correspondence that we send out during the process. You know, if we do need to evacuate, so we can just kind of say, hey, you said you'd do this here. We've got a whole bunch of little gadgets that we're going to put together and pamphlets as far as information that we think people should have, you know, a checklist for what to take with you when you evacuate, the shelter, special needs shelter, thank you. I could never remember that. All that information will be in there, all of our hurricane and flood and, you know, you're below flood, this is what you should do, this is how you can.
Right.
And then
And
we
the emergency list of people that need extra help, I
yeah,
know.
so we've put
that-
together some contact information on a magnet with all of
Great.
our, here's your utility company, here's, you know, the city, this is the fire department, this is, so all of that information, we've done a big purchase for
That's great.
promotional information, some flashlights, some water bottles, those kind of things, as well as, you know, information, lots of information. So we're gonna have those bags at the block party.
Yeah, the only thing you really can't do right now, I guess, is list any type of shelter areas, because those come and go.
Correct, but we're gonna give them the Pinellas County information as to where to find that information. So they'll have lots of paper as well. So-
Good, that's great.
Anybody have any further questions? No? All right. Thank you. All right, Public Works, come on up.
Made this easy for you. Got any questions?
Still waiting to hear about the kayak.
Yes, I
launch.
had a meeting with them last Thursday,
12th.
and I haven't got anything back from them yet.
Yeah, sure.
You know, because there was some more information that came out, you know, about with the seagrasses and stuff, you know, so I just wanted to make sure before we are 100% done with our, the plans and everything, that we just don't, you know, spend 10 grand on that, and then they
Oh, yeah.
tell us we can't do it.
Right,
So,
right.
you know, but I have not heard back from them yet, so.
And you think there might be a grant possibly if it does go?
Yes, I spoke with Justin, our engineer that's working, and he said, in August, this coming August, there is gonna be, I know this thing's been taking forever. I know, it just,
I know.
it seems like the park, you know, it's like, it's never ending, but, yeah, he did say, that there, is gonna be a grant for that, maybe 50 to 75% of it, which, you know, that could be, in, you know, 20, 25 grand or something like that, so.
We could make it more upscale.
But, yeah, so that's really, you know, what we're waiting on that before we move any further. And if they say yes, you know, we'll continue on. If they say no, then, you know, we're not out a whole lot of money.
Okay. All right. I think otherwise, I didn't have a whole lot on here. Anybody else?
No, just pretty much our norm, just trying to keep things rolling.
Okay. Well, look at that. You're out of here quickly.
Wow.
All right, public safety. Come on down.
I will pledge to evacuate. Especially after what we went through, you're welcome. Quite a bit going on, actually, so some of our new folks are really staying busy. Alejandro Salamanca just passed his capstone EMT, so as he's in probation, he'll be working as a full county certified EMT with the department. Stephen Weaver just completed his 1-year probation and has immediately started paramedic school, so he's kind of ahead of the curve there. Firefighter paramedic Michael McKenzie is taking his capstone as we sit here. in front of the medical director, so we're hoping at the end of the day today, he will be a county certified paramedic. Yeah, he's also ahead of the curve, so a couple of our new guys really got out of the chute quick. And then 2 of our acting lieutenants who are also on the promotional list are taking care of some of the stuff they need to have in order to be a full-fledged lieutenant should that time come. Kevin Massey passed his Florida State Inspector 1 cert, and Brendan Smith passed his Fire Instructor 1 cert, both with the state of Florida. Of course, we keep on our inspection schedule and working with those residents who are still doing repairs after the storm, right, as needed. But we're starting to see a lot come back online, which is a good thing. Really good course was put on at the county EOC, and we had participation from all departments. It was a Texas A&M training, identification, and preparedness planning course. Kind of make sure we're looking ahead and doing the right training and right preparations for both natural and man-made disasters in the future. So that was a good, not only class, but a good collaboration between department heads. Crime statistics are attached with the sheriff's office. We do also have a new liaison. Since Captain Liner left, we're now on our 2nd new liaison. They keep getting promoted and moved out of that position.
For a long time now.
He was, and he was easy to work with because of that, right? Not that the new folks aren't good, but he had such a ease of, you know, he had done it so long. Everything was second nature. So hope to build that same relationship with the new person and get all set up for the block party here coming up. Call volume's still down just a little bit, but you know, because like Terry just spoke of, with having, you know, many of our high rises vacant, right? That just it's a numbers thing. So we're right where we should be if you look at what would happen historically should the, you know, Lance and Lutheran open up. We're kind of exactly in the same spot. What else? The big thing is the dedicated outside air system at the new fire station. It is not working right now. We have a bad coil. The coil needs to be replaced, and the warranty is expired. It was an 18-month warranty from the date it left the factory. We are about 18 months since we moved in the new station, so you look at that. I'm supposed to be getting some more information. It was supposed to come in yesterday.
Not from the date it was installed, it was the date it was shipped.
I checked the warranty card. It's from the date it leaves the factory. So what does that mean, right? Can it leave the factory and sit for 6 months and then get installed, you know?
What if some installer, like somebody else buys it to have in the stock and then the warranty's dead? Well, yeah, so, yeah, that's kind of weird.
So we met on site with both the installer and then our current maintenance folks. The installer was Fedden AC HVAC, and the current maintenance person is Alvarez AC, to kind of get a game plan of what we need to do. The best is probably going to be to get a new coil with new warranty, right, and install a new coil. That's expensive. That's $10,500, and it's late. It's 8 to 9 weeks out. They don't have them in stock. Alvarez thought he knew someone who could manufacture a coil, which they can. They can do it in 5 to 7 days at 3 times the estimated cost of the new one.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then they can try to repair it on site. 2 problems with that. One, it is aluminum coil, not a copper coil. It tends to be weaker, right? And then they don't guarantee the repair. So we'd basically be paying $4,000 or $5,000 from a repair that could put us right back in the same boat. We're hoping that since it's this time of year, we can wait the 8 weeks, get the new one and put it in. But it's not something I'm excited
Is
to tell
there
you
no
guys
air
about.
there now?
There's partial,
But you really notice the difference.
mostly in my office, yeah. It's weird how some parts of the building don't notice it, some do. But I tend to run it a little hotter anyway, so it's fine. Yeah, that's a good, you know, I just don't know what to say. It's way too soon.
Will the new coil be just a direct replacement, aluminum, or will it be upgraded to a copper? copper or something heavier?
My understanding would be the same because it would come from the same manufacturer. I can ask that question though, but yeah, it's the same company. Did I put it in here? No, but that's a good question. I can find out.
Curious.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. And well, also we would need to find out if the one that's 3 times expensive would be copper, but I still don't, 3 times is a lot. We're talking $31,000, you know, so I don't think we'd want to do that. And then I just kind of gave you a wrap of the 2025 hurricane season and what we, you know, still some lessons learned from 2024 as we continue to move forward. And then I've also started this year to do the updates to the emergency action guide. So hopefully I can, we'll this same group that went to the training, we'll do some preliminary revision and review before we bring it to you guys in May. So trying to get an early start on that. And then looking forward to the block party.
Yeah.
Any specific questions on what was in the report?
Are you doing all of the demos that you were gonna do?
Not the burn trailer.
Oh, that's my favorite. Especially if you're standing right in front of it.
Yeah.
That was great.
Especially
Okay.
on a good windy day.
That one's tough, right? Because the demand's pretty high for it, right? And we normally schedule that about 8 months ahead of time, believe it or not. So
It was amazing though, I mean, for people to see how quick something goes up
Right.
like that. It was crazy.
yeah, especially for the guy doing the demo and wanted to make sure it got put out. It kind of
You're
worked out
right.
pretty good. So yeah, that was a little too close for comfort. But yeah, that's a great point. Is you just don't realize how fast, you know, modern combustibles, right? Everything's synthetic, everything's petroleum based. It's not like the old days when many components were wood. Like everything burns tremendously hot, tremendously fast. So yeah, it's a good visual. And then to see the side by side with the one sprinkler head that puts it out immediately is pretty amazing. So. Oh, there was that interesting complaint, not to bore you guys, but I think the mayor was directly involved. One business, 2 owners, one was happy with me, one wasn't. So in the same week, I got both a complaint and a attaboy
And appraise.
on the same project.
Doesn't one
so
wipe out the other?
I would like to think so.
That's what I thought when I read it. Okay, I don't even worry about it.
And we are still working with them because it's another post-storm repair where they've done it before. And like I said, if you just would have applied for the permit first, we could have avoided all this. So now we are trying our best to work within the code and work with the owner to make sure, you know, things are done properly and they can, it's not a, it's a storage, so, you know, there's no life safety component as far as, you know, sleeping or dormitory situation. So I feel better with that, but there's still some things they have to do to make it protect each other's belongings, so. Okay,
Good.
All right,
you're welcome.
all right. You're up, Carly. What you got?
Me, do you all wanna do questions first? I do have, I guess, a quick update, since this was sent
Let's do a little
out.
congratulations to Mary Jo.
Congratulations to Mary Jo, who Virginia is not here, so Mary
Yeah.
Jo's not sitting in here with us. I don't know if she can hear us, but congratulations. She's out there. Yes, she's been working on that. Had a little bit of difficulty with the school that she went to prior closing, and so not being able to get like transcripts and credits for it. So she's been working on this for a while. So I think it's a big relief for her to have gotten that. So very happy for her. Update on legislative session. I noted in here that there's been some delay in their budget talks. The House and the Senate did both put out their budgets last minute at the end of last week. So it is moving along. It's moving slowly. I don't have an update on that budget because there was no, I guess sometimes they have sessions or meetings to review it, but they just put it out. So it's just thousands of pages of budget information. They just said, here you go. So it's out. That's all we know right now. So we will get more information to you when we have it. But I don't have a budget update on that from the state yet. So as far as I know, our request has a lot of support, but it's just waiting for the process to go through. So,
How about the charter? People calling in, trying to volunteer or anything? Or
I don't think we have anyone
really?
yet. If you all can help solicit,
Yeah.
that would be great. We'll start
I
putting
pushed,
out
I just
some-
forwarded the information to everybody I had links to,
Okay.
but I guess maybe a little extra push might help, so.
Yeah. Yeah. So we made the applications due by the end of next week. The hope there is that you would have them for discussion at the workshop the following week. We don't necessarily need all of them until the March 10th meeting, but I wanted you all to have a chance to review them first, rather than having to review and, for example, do like a ballot and ranking at the night meeting, which we can do. So if we don't have enough by the 27th, we will open it up for another week and make them do like the 6th to try to get more.
I mean,
if we
would
need
it
them.
be helpful, I mean, you know, to have something at the block party, or that's way too late?
A sign up? Oh,
I mean, if we have to, we will, but that's the Saturday before the night meeting where you guys would be appointing, and my hope would be that we would have them before then. If we are still in need, we will be pounding the pavement that Saturday, trying to get people. I don't know if you all want to discuss now, if any of you are interested in serving, because we need 9. If one of you would like to serve, that would be one of those spots. So if you all want to discuss, if anyone wants to say, I plan to apply, or I would like to, that at least then we know a little bit, at least internally, that we're only looking for 8. But it's up
Yeah.
to,
That you'll love that.
it's up to
I will.
you all. So-
Well, you really,
Tom did.
it's some, no, that's how we got Tom, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
I had that coming.
No, no, really, don't you think, I mean, it's a good
No,
learning
It's
experience.
a very rewarding experience. I think
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah,
I would do it again, but I mean, if Mark wants to do it, I'm all for
I would
somebody
like to
else.
see how the process works and what we're doing. Hopefully I'm allowed to get input from all of you, right?
in a public setting.
In a public setting, okay.
Yeah, the meetings are just like us, they gotta be
Mhm.
open. public
Okay.
notice and everything.
So,
So,
I've already read it once.
So where are we, like, advertising it, just on the Facebook page and on our city site, anything else, so?
typically, because the problem with trying to do it more widespread is it has to be a city resident. And so in the past, we had put it, for example, in the Gabber, trying to say, well, our residents read the Gabber. We got all sorts of interest from people outside of, we spent
Right, yeah.
more time being like, thank you so much, but you can't.
Yeah.
Did you
We
put
just
it in our
don't-
paper?
I found it on the
I
bulletin
didn't
board
put
on
it in our
Shore
paper.
Drive.
There you go, yeah, I mean,
Put
it's
that all
posted in all those
Interesting.
places, yeah, so.
Now look what I got myself into.
That's
Like
right.
you did or something.
If
And
you
you
all
love
have
it.
Some of those
suggestions,
people
we
in
can,
it.
we
Well, I
can
mean, the
put it
next
certain
article comes out
places.
in March, so.
Does it
it's
have to
late.
be
I
9,
thought
or
about
can
putting
we
it
have
in,
a
but-
less than 9, or is it
The
maximum?
charter says 9.
Okay, that's what I couldn't remember.
So, I mean, if we don't get 9, we'll cross that bridge when we
Right.
come
Well, if I
to
add it
it.
to my condo article that comes out March 1st, that's too late though, right?
In
I mean, that was my thought.
I
but-
would love to get them before
Yeah.
that, because that way, the hope is that you honestly all get more than 9, and you
Right.
can sit and go, okay, let's make sure we have a wide background of applicants, and
Yeah.
a wide range, to try to get some different perspectives. That's the goal. So my hope was to have them for you all to discuss at the March 3rd workshop. If we don't, we'll open it back up for another week, but I would
Yep.
like to have them.
Well, put out a
before
plea. Talk to
Yeah.
So,
All right,
um,
okay.
but
Uh,
let's see what else we got.
Server upgrades are underway.
Yep, they
Yeah.
are moving along. There have actually been some that have happened and it's actually gone well. Y'all should not have noticed any interruptions to certain things. There have been days where I've been holding my breath. And, but we do, it's done like over the weekend or at night or whatever. And so we kind of like, okay, it's still going. So that's moving along, well. I do want to, I guess, point out one of the bullet points in here about, the city hall design. The number that we had been sort of looking at, the 12 and a half, is for a one-story building over parking. Staff, to be honest, we were a little bit surprised that that's what they provided to us, because all of our discussions had been 2. And so I think they were trying to do that of like, hey, if y'all are in a money crunch, this would be the cheapest way to do it. But we don't feel that a one-story over parking was gonna meet our long-term design goals. It saves us a little up front, but I don't think that the facility was going to be what we are hoping for. So the question is now, are we wanting to pursue potentially the higher cost but 2-story over building, or 2-story over parking building? They're gonna get us hard numbers. This was their initial you know, just based on what they know of the industry, they would
I
expect
assume we
it
were
to.
doing a two-story thing anyway, I guess.
So did
I
we.
can't see
In my
us-
mind.
anything less than seems
So
like.
did we.
Yeah, 'cause we don't have enough.
Yeah.
We were surprised as well, so.
What is the two-story? What do you mean by that?
So, the current building being two-story, we have event room on the first floor and
Yes.
then second floor of offices. Our hope was to do something similar but flip the order.
Excellent.
So raise it up, so the level we'd be at now would be our new first floor, right,
Okay.
of office space and potentially commission chambers, so
Okay.
administrative and the government function.
Yep.
And then a story above of an event room, and then the first floor, like where we have right now, the Hibiscus Hall would be parking.
Okay.
That is our goal, because we feel like that best utilizes the space that we're on.
Yeah, and that's using the whole footprint.
It would be using a similar footprint to what we have now, maybe slightly
Oh,
bigger.
not going out towards the
We wouldn't
park.
necessarily have to, which is why the cost isn't a huge jump. It is a jump, but it's not a huge jump. Their initial number of the 12 and a half is really broadening the footprint and doing basically all of the parking
Okay.
underneath, in order to have an event room and all of the office space on one story. So it's all side by side.
We had plenty of
We
room
would
for
prefer to
everything. Modernized.
stack it. Yeah, we'd prefer to stack it. We feel like in terms of government function, it would be better to do it that way. For example, we rent out the hall, at least we used to. You know, during the day, you could rent it out for a meeting on a weekday. Someone could be using it, for example, right now, as long as they weren't using it for something that interrupted what we were doing. And so to have it all on one space, you'd have people coming in and out for hall use on the same floor as we are having public meetings.
Right.
If it's a different floor, it's a different stop on the elevator, you know, and if they rented on the weekends, if it's on the same floor, we had to make sure that there were security measures in place, because you're stopping on the same floor as all of our government offices versus renting it out on a weekend. If it's a different floor, you just lock the elevator, you can't stop on this floor at all. So that's what we feel is a better long-term investment. It is gonna be a higher cost project up front. So,
Are you thinking that the event space up top, will that turn into a profit center for us?
absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, we
We
rented
always
it
charged
out.
before.
Yeah, we rented it out before, but to be honest, the way that it's built, you don't get a water view.
Right.
It's very low ceilings. I mean, we did the best we could with what was
Sure.
there. We think that doing it this way, having that be the higher floor, and really every meeting we've had, we go big windows, big waterfront view. You know, if you can put a deck or a porch, that's great. This is what we want to do. We just feel like that would be a better long-term investment for the city in
Awesome.
multiple
Okay.
ways. So, is it going to be our cheapest option? No. But that's what we staff thinks we need to try to pursue that.
Yeah.
So, we'll come back to you when we have more numbers, but that's
I think it'd be
That's what
more
we think is
rentable
better.
too, if on the third
100%.
floor, for wedding reception.
100%.
People go.
Yep.
Especially if we can get a balcony out there.
100%.
Yeah,
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
that's-
So,
CrossFit competition. There you go.
so.
City gym.
So more to come on that, unless you all are in this moment going absolutely not, do it as cheaply as possible. In which case, I'll call
No.
them and tell them to stop.
No.
Not that
But-
much more. It's about what I thought it was gonna be
No.
anyway.
So-
Well,
And it'll be more than that by the
by the
time
time
it
we
gets
get the
here.
guarantee, it'll be 16.
Oh, I know. I mean, that's the problem. I mean, this is what
When
it
they
is
start
now,
construction
but
in
it's
4
just,
years,
it's,
we'll,
yeah. So,
Yep.
I just wanted to bring your attention to that in case you all had strong opinions on it up
I
front.
see block party's moving ahead.
Yep, yep.
And
coming
so
together
approximately
really well.
16 vehicles are planned for the touch of trucks. That's 16 trucks.
Yes.
The touch.
Yes, so, but that will also include, like, Sean's bringing over the tractor, and what else, we'll have the.
And the winner
Can we
gets to take
drive
that,
the
and the winner
tractor
gets to keep that vehicle?
Yes, you can drive it home.
All right, I guess I'll have to drive a fire truck then.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a mix of public safety and construction vehicles mostly.
Right.
And then the bucket truck will be out in the street doing bucket truck rides, so they'll be able to get in that also.
That's gonna be good.
The Public Works bucket truck or the fire
The
department?
fire department,
Okay,
yeah, the fire department.
yeah, that's definitely a better
Yeah,
view.
so we've got the live band.
We're gonna
booked.
extract Tom from a car?
No, but I'd like to put him in the dunk tank.
He loved it when we did.
I-
Dunk tank.
I was told no live people in
No
the
live people.
in the car anymore. But if you all would like to volunteer for the dunk tank,
No live.
I would really love that.
I'll do the dunk
You'll do
tank. You
great.
just Tell me how to dress.
You said something about the union is going to provide hamburgers and hot dogs or something. Is that free to the people, or is that?
I believe so.
Probably have a booth. Won't they have a booth out there or something? Don't they usually put a booth?
Donation.
I mean, they may, but they don't. I don't even think they do this for that. It's just
Oh,
for
that's what they do
community
over at-
involvement.
St. Pete Beach, the
So-
park there.
Yeah, I usually
Yeah,
donate.
they charge
Tell that.
$5 a hot dog. I mean,
Yeah.
$5 a
Yeah.
hamburger is a delicious hamburger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
$5 to spend.
And then there, we've got other vendors that will be out for more, almost like dessert or carnival style.
We're still gonna have the
food.
beer tent?
That's the plan.
Okay.
That's the
Did you
plan.
get the peanut brittle lady? Then she
We
has
have reached
ice
out
cream.
to them. Has she answered? We have reached out.
Yeah, but she has ice cream now.
Well, so we do have Coastal.
Oh.
It's Coastal, right? The ice cream, the local ice cream shop,
Yeah,
planning to come. So we'll have kettle corn and a bunch of other dessert things. So the bulk of the food will be the union, and then we'll have smaller vendors selling like extras.
But no other, like the main food vendors. We
No other
decided
main
against
food
that.
vendors. That it is what it is. But
Okay.
it's gonna be good. But
Oh,
it
yeah,
is
it'll
gonna
be
be
good.
more concession style. But that's kind of what we're going for, is a more relaxed, casual style. And then we've got more kids activities. So we added extra bounce houses. There's like one where you can like kick a soccer ball that sticks to like a big target thing. So we've got some other activities and balloon animals and face painting and the band, the drum line. Yeah, so it should be fun.
Move on to these interesting shirts.
Okay,
I love them.
you like them?
I do.
Okay,
Oh,
good.
they're really nice.
Good.
I think they're awesome.
Good.
I love the
Yeah.
color combination.
Agree.
The
So our
black.
cost for these, for us to buy even in bulk, is 29 to 34.
Mhm. And so that was the cheapest vendor.
Yeah.
So that was my one caveat, is I want to see, I'm gonna talk to Kelly about trying to get a sample of the quality of the shirt that's being
Yeah.
quoted at that price. And as long as we're good with it, those are the numbers we'd be looking at, depending on how many we were to order. If they're not good enough quality, there are higher cost options that we will look into. Personally, I buy these shirts for my family all the time. They're the long sleeve dry fit.
Yeah.
That price point, so if we were to add a little bit to it to sell it, I don't think that's out of the norm
No,
for
you're
what
right.
people
It is
expect for
true.
this style of shirt.
Is
So
that
it-
what the guys wear in Public Works?
Some, yeah.
Is that about around that price?
I didn't hear the price.
Because they have the long sleeve, the yellow.
29 to 34.
Okay.
Will these be available at the block party right now?
Possibly. Do we think? We're
Yeah,
gonna
we
try.
To sell them.
Have they sent you a sample of the shirt?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
But you won't have them to the black.
That's what I'm gonna try to figure out. Kelly and I are still trying to work through it. So
Well,
I
so,
mean, they're beautiful.
and as I mentioned earlier to you, a short sleeve option would be nice.
Yeah.
But
we can look
otherwise-
for that. We can
Liking
look
it.
for that.
And we can do different colors. I mean, this looks like a great color teal. I mean, it looks kind of darker in the way that
Yeah, it
she
looks
printed it,
darker
but
on there than it looks
Yeah.
on my computer. I don't know what it looks like for you guys.
wasted ink in there.
This is what it looks like for me. Does it look like
You
that
see,
for
it's
you all?
lighter. Look at
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
looks
that
like,
looks
yeah,
better.
this is, I saw it in your office. I'm like, it doesn't look like
Yeah,
that
it
on
did
my
look like that on
screen.
screen.
more
yeah.
like
like
those
So
also.
even the
Yeah.
short sleeve, you would use that same material.
I mean, I think the dry
Possibly.
fit's nice. Honestly, this is what we see our residents coming in wearing every day, is these long sleeve,
Yeah.
Guy Harvey style
Yeah.
fishing shirts. For the sun protection. It's what a lot of people wear year round. So
They're
that's
nice.
just trying to offer something different. But I wanted to at least get something in front of
They're
you.
like the ones from the fire union.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
material.
yeah, like that dry fit. Yep.
Yep.
So that's the thought. If you guys are good with it, we'd love
We're
to be able to.
Consensus to move ahead with these t-shirts?
Great.
Yeah, I'd like to see them available at the block party.
We
Yeah.
will.
Possible.
We will.
Be a great chance to sell them.
Yeah, we'll work for that.
Have you done this in the past?
Not these. No, we've just done
Not this
traditional
type.
cotton.
We have a
I
different-
mean, you've had shirts in the past?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
T-shirts.
They just have like the city logo on the front.
Oh,
It's just
okay.
been very simple.
And do you normally add a few dollars to them to sell them, or just sell them at cost? or-
We've done both.
Okay.
For a long time, we sold them at cost because selling them above that brought up a tax issue, and
Okay.
that finance then had to calculate and report.
Yep.
A couple of years ago, the commission said, nope, add a couple bucks to each one, which I think is what our pricing is at right now. So we have to report, when we sell things, we then have to report sales tax, which we don't have to do if it's at cost. So that's, I guess, my next question is, would you all like us to sell them at cost, or would you like to?
It's less of a headache,
Yes.
and I think it's a better price point for our residents.
I
Yeah.
wanna see as many people in
I mean, how
as
much you gonna make on
possible.
that, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You can do a typical 15% market.
Are you saying
$4 a
cost?
shirt.
Yeah.
You know, plus tax, plus accounting nightmare for you.
Oh, so you have to do that.
Yeah, I mean, like, we will be selling them to people and we will need to charge sales tax to the people that we sell.
That's if you mark it up. If you sell it for cost, you don't have to, right?
That's how
No,
Jim
she
had.
said you have
We'll
to.
Or do
talk.
you?
That's how Jim had figured. He was very against increasing it above what your cost was, because it changed whatever he had to do
Well,
on the back
we're
end.
gonna have a hard time selling it exactly at cost. I
Yeah.
think that when you see the pricing of these, they'll sell these sizes for this cost, these sizes for this cost. It changes, like, when you do a big order like this. So what I would hate to do is say, if you're a size larger, smaller, it's this amount. If you're gonna pay, you know, it's offensive to people, first of all, to price things based on sizes. But it's not a problem.
Well, let's
The
put it
way
this
that-
way, if we're gonna have to pay taxes no matter what, then yes, increase it.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna have to do the taxes.
But not a whole lot. I mean, we still want it affordable for
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
people, and they're on set
Maybe
incomes in
just
this
do
town,
Factor the cost of tax into the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I.
Okay. Anything else? Yeah.
So we could have them by the time?
Gonna
Possibly.
try. Gonna try. If we don't,
No
then
guarantee.
then we could also at least have like coming soon and put like the design out and go, you know.
Help get rid of
whichever
some of the other
date.
shirts we
Yeah.
got.
Yeah.
So
Could you do a pre-order?
Do we have a
probably,
lot?
yeah, or at least, hey, like,
That's
give
what I
us your
said.
information. We'll let you know when they're available. Like, we'll have some kind of information out
But if
there.
we could
Do
get
we have a
one.
lot of the t-shirts left?
We have a decent amount. Yeah.
But we'll still try to
Yeah.
hawk those.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Anything, anybody else got anything good for the group?
Let me just
So,
do it.
I'm gonna be performing a wedding, Friday in the Galati Gardens.
Awesome.
So,
Who else did you do
kind of
that?
familiar to, our vice
How
mayor
long's
here.
it been now?
According to Patty Joe, an eternity.
Yeah.
Well, I can see why she'd
So,
say that.
if Sean can make sure the Galati Gardens is nice and clean by 4 o'clock on Friday, that would be nice. And
Taking that phone call.
so, and hopefully the weather will hold up and everything will be fine. But it's people requested, so we're gonna give them a shot. They live right across the street over here, so. All right. Anything else? Nobody? Okay, we're gonna adjourn. Let's go.